What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode. So today I want to talk about why it's important to have a masculine role model in your life, So me personally, right? My major role model in my life is my dad, right? And right off the bat, I'm fortunate to have a dad that is present in my life who we talk on a daily basis. We actually live together, so I mean, you know what I'm saying? Lucky me, right? But but we have a great relationship, and now it's grown over the last couple of years, 100%. But I hate to say this, it hasn't always been like this. However, he's always been the same man, right? In a good way, in a positive light. And the reason I say this is important is because he's stayed solid. So think about it, right? Even these days, people say, stand on business, right? Gotta stand on business, right? My pops, that brother stands on business. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, he's very principle based. So it's like, if he says, hey, this is what it's gonna be, that's what it's gonna be. If he doesn't agree with X, Y, and Z, he doesn't agree with X, Y, and Z. So he has no problem with saying like what the deal is, you know what I'm saying? And that rubs off on me, right? So it allows me to have a backbone and see like, hey, listen, like, you make a decision, stand on it. You know what I'm saying? Be who you are wherever you go. So for me, that's been very important, and it's been a great gauge and showing me how men operate. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I'm still a young man myself, coming into adulthood, right? And just getting to converse with my dad as much as we do on a daily basis, really, and have long conversations, to talk about life and the things we're going through and the things that we're working on, is good. It's great, it makes me really look at the world differently, and really just appreciate those conversations, right? So another reason that it's important to have masculine role models is because it teaches you things, right? Certain principles. As I said before, my dad is very principle based, right? So principles such as leadership, such as, like, for example, leadership, right? Look at it like this, right? In your own life, what direction is your life going in? So to me, being a leader is being able to take control of your life, and essentially play a part in the outcome of the things that you do. So it's having a purpose in everything that you do. So for me, for example, going to the gym, it's not just going just to go. There's a purpose behind it. The purpose for me behind it is to be in the best shape that I can be in, for my physical, mental well-being, so on and so forth, right? For me, it's a non-negotiable. So standing on business is saying that, hey, listen, no matter if I'm tired, sleepy, exhausted, it's been a long day, I'm going to the gym, right? There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's a non-negotiable. So leadership, to hammer back down on that a little bit more, is essentially just being a leader in your own life and taking responsibility and accountability for anything and everything that goes on. Essentially, it's all your fault. No matter what happens to you, it's your fault. So that's taking responsibility and accountability for everything. So that's a major principle, a major key for me, is leadership. And next is let me see, because there's so much that I've learned from him. Discipline's a big one. So for my age, right, I'm very disciplined, right, compared to the people that I interact with and converse with. Now, this is mainly because of how I was raised, right? And just there's some things that we were allowed to do. When I say we, I'm talking about me and my siblings. That we were allowed to do, and things that we weren't allowed to do, right? However, there are some things that never change. And then it's building up the habits of doing things that need to be done and building that positive momentum, or just overall it's building that faculty in your mind that tells you, no matter what to get this done, right? So for me, right, a part of discipline that my dad has been instilling in me is to not be late, right? No matter where you go, don't be late. So I can give you an example, right? When I was working at McDonald's, I used to work at McDonald's. I was a manager and an operations tech person at McDonald's, right? And once I got into that role, then it wasn't really about me anymore. It was more so about my my coworkers, the people I'm working with, the employees, right? So I have to be on time because they look up to me. I'm their leader. So it's like, if you're late, that sets the standard, and goes back to leadership, standard. These all tie into each other, right? So by living like who you say you are and doing what you say you're gonna do, then that shows, you know what I mean? It's leading by example, leadership. So back to the discipline part of being a leader, in a sense, is I had more responsibility that was on my shoulders to be able to perform consistently because I'm in the spotlight, right? So there became a point in time where I started to be late. Now, I wasn't late by like 30 minutes, an hour. It was like a minute, literally a minute. But that's still late. So no matter which way you cut it, twist it, or anything, it's late. Even being there exactly on time is late, you know? So when it came down to it, this was starting to become a pattern. And then eventually a couple months later, I ended up switching jobs, right? I got a little bit of a grip on it, but then I switched jobs. And now where I work now, then when I was in training, then my dad was like mind you, I was to work on, like, I hadn't been late. And he was like, he came in the room one day, he goes, yeah, I'm gonna need you to start leaving 15 minutes before you have to be to work. And I go, 15 minutes? But mind you, I live like 2 minutes away from my job, right? My old job and my new job. So he was like, you need to leave like 15 minutes before work. I go, 15 minutes? He goes, you know what, make it 20. I go, 20 minutes? He goes, all right, make it 30. I go, what am I do for 30 minutes? And I go, okay, no, I got it. All right, okay, all right. So then he goes, so he would have said, kept going until I would have gotten the point that he's not playing, you know? So then I was like, all right, well, now I'm gonna start being on time. Not that I was late when it came to this new job, but he goes, well, and if you leave, so for example, say I have to be at work at 10 o'clock. I have to leave at 9:30 and then just do whatever, be at work, sit in the break room, whatever, until work starts, right? And then if I leave at, say, 9:31, I owe him $50. So I'm like, oh nah, I'm not trying to owe nobody $50. And then he was like, because I asked him, I said, when is this gonna start? He goes, like tomorrow morning. I go, really? He goes, and I won't be here tomorrow morning, so it's gonna test your character. I go, oh nah, you ain't coming for my character. So I go, cool, I'll be there. You know what I'm saying? So I said to say this, right? The discipline of being on time and the discipline of doing things that should be done without essentially anybody having to tell you is a part of being a leader and a part of being disciplined, right? And these are core things you have to internalize and make it important for you, because nobody's going to make things more important than they should be for you, right? So that's two, leadership and discipline. And then to piggyback off of that, another one that's very important is integrity, right? So when people are around, then what are you doing? When people aren't around, what are you doing, right? What is your character like when people are looking at you versus when people aren't? Do you do things differently? Do you cut corners because people aren't watching, or behind the scenes are you still doing what it takes to be to get things done and do it the right way, right? Because my dad always says this as well: do it right the first time, you don't have to do it again. Now, there could be something that takes 5 minutes, right? 5 minutes. However, if you're being lazy and you go, oh, I'll do it later or do it tomorrow, right? You're just making it worse on yourself, right? Or if you do it, you're making it worse for yourself, because somebody's going to catch it. Somebody's going to catch it. Now, it goes back to the way you do one thing is the way you do everything, right? So if you're doing one thing and half doing it, you're gonna do everything halfway. So you're never gonna complete anything to the best of the ability that it could have been done. So why not do everything almost as if your life depended on it, right? Like when I go to the gym, I train like my life depends on it. Like, talk about training to failure. I train until I can't train anymore, right? And on the back end, I'm in shape, you know? So it may hurt to do a little bit more in the moment, but the reward for that feels 10 times better than having to be like, oh, now I got to redo it, you know? Because that's the worst. That's the worst. Nobody likes doing double work. Nobody likes doing double work. So why not just do it right the first time? So yeah, just to recap so far, having a masculine role model in your life is a key component to the success of, I believe, many people. You know, whether it be a dad, a brother, a boss, a friend, it doesn't matter who it is, as long as they have good traits about them, good characteristics. Because when I look at people who I decide to follow, I judge their character, right? Who are they to their core? Because that's gonna really reveal who they are and what they do and what they're about. So I'd recommend doing an in-depth analysis of people to really see what are, like, judge people's character. Because as I said before, one of my other videos is you are who you become around, right? Or you are who you hang out with, or not hang out with, it just are around, right? So even on that, then there's traits that I've picked up by living with my mom and my dad, right? Because they operate at such a level that if I don't operate there, then I'm kind of the oddball out, and it throws things out of whack, you know? So essentially, I have to rise to the occasion, right? It's setting the standard for the environment, right? And even when I'm operating at a very high level and they see it, then that pushes them to be like, all right, well, let me get this in check, right? That goes for anywhere and everywhere, even at work, right? Because, as I said before, my discipline is very solid, and it shows in the environments that I'm in. When I'm at work, when I'm at the gym, right? I try to attract people who either have the same work ethic, who are working on things hard, right? Or who have goals and aspirations. So when I'm doing these things, such as building my character, then it shows and people are attracted to it. So I say that to say this: when it comes down to having character, having morals, having a masculine role model, it's important. Seek them out. Seek them out. But also become the person who has those traits wouldn't mind interacting with. Because nobody who operates at a high level wants to operate with somebody or try to help somebody who's either A, not helping themselves, or B, just not in any way, shape, or form attempting to even better their own life, right? So as I said before in one of my other videos, you got to do it for yourself first before anybody can help you, right? And it may be tough to take those first steps, but you got to find who you are. You got to find who you are first before anybody can help bring that depth out of you. You got to start first, because there's levels to this game, and the game waits for nobody. It's not all sunshine and roses. So when it comes down to it, do your best to find who you are, and really work on it and hone in who you are and keep chiseling yourself and working on yourself no matter what, no matter how hard it gets. So now I just got to the gym. So now I'm going to go have a good workout. I'm going to go work out like my life depended on it. And get these gains. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good day. Y'all go ahead and go to the gym, get some work done, and be a productive human being. I'll catch you on the next video. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm out.